Testing. 1, 2, 3.
However long this break ends up being. I want to thank anyone who spends part of their day creating.
I'm interested in layers.
I don't care if it's a book, a film, a painting, a dance, a piece of theater, a piece of music.
Here it is.
I think this world would be unlivable without art. Thank you.
The tyranny of narrative, according to Soderbergh, is the demand for linear construction. Narrative in film consists of scenes. Scenes must be outlined in order. More often than not, this order is chronological, plotting forward in a singular direction. However, when it comes to the tyranny of narrative, this outlining of scenes is hardly the most daunting. For Soderbergh, what is more insidious exists within the scenes themselves. Every scene is made up of shots and cuts. This is the DNA of filmmaking. Here, the so-called grammar of film rules.
Thank you.
Title introduction, take 2. This essay will explore the non-linear construction of the hallucination sequence in King of the Hill in 2, 2, 3, 1. If we compare the shots and cuts in this sequence with any other scene in the film, the difference is stark. Other scenes reveal predictable patterns, create a sense of continuity and order. This is the grammar of film. In the hallucination sequence, we'll see this tyranny disrupted. However, we might first ask if Soderbergh is not already slyly disrupting the sense of order, even here in this most grammatically correct scene. If we go back to the very first cut, we now see that the boy is Billy Thompson.
Read by Billy Thompson. You've been a wonderful class. Enjoy your summer.
Thank you.
In this scene, the linear ABC progression stops once we enter the mind of Aaron, This transgression marks a significant moment in the cinema of Steven Soderbergh. It is the first time that he definitively edits within the logic of this subjective realm, which is no longer bound by the continuity of space and time. Embracing this more associative logic, Soderbergh is able to capture the emotional movement of this entire film within 17 cuts. 3, 1, 2. The first cut moves us from the eyes of Lester to his cuffed hands being taken away. It is not surprising that Lester is the first image we see. This event happens towards the end of the film and marks the moment when Aaron feels truly alone. Lester has been like an older brother to Aaron and his only reliable protector. The devastation of Lester being taken away is combined with a memory of his final gesture of kinship, a pocket knife as a farewell gift. This leads to a cut of Aaron giving a farewell gift to his little brother. This is a decisive, non-linear cut. It does not connect action forward in time. Rather, it connects to the emotion and memory of a previous image. Big brother and little brother both taken away, a gift to mark the separation. The third cut reveals the sadness of his brother, and then a cut of him departing and waving goodbye. This wave leads to the fifth cut of Mr. Sandoz waving to Aaron. This is not a goodbye, but a wave of recognition. Mr. Sandoz, who was once Aaron's neighbor, has become homeless during this period. The possibility of being homeless is a source of great anxiety for Aaron throughout the film. This anxiety of being without resources leads to a cut of Christina and the rest of his affluent classmates. This is not a memory of an actual moment, but the feeling of his last interaction with his peer group, which ended with Aaron being outed as poor and a part of the lower class. Then we cut outside of Aaron, which either represents an out-of-body sense of his own current state or simply a peek at this critical moment. Either way, his own physical breakdown leads to a memory of his neighbor Ella having a seizure and his feeling of helplessness. The ninth cut represents a fear imagined. Ella becomes his mother in danger.
I miss you.
This conflation exists purely in the mind of Aaron and begins to reveal his deepest feelings. The next cut connects this danger to death, recalling Mr. Mungo's suicide. The 11th cut replaces Mr. Mungo with Aaron's father. This conflation does not seem to emerge out of concern, but something darker, animosity perhaps, a desire, an accusation. The next cut represents Aaron's feeling of helplessness and being trapped. It recalls a comment from Lester when he sees a picture of Aaron, which belonged to Mr. Sandoz, locked up in the storage room. The final 5 cuts reveal a growing anger and distrust in Aaron, with an image of his father and a mistress, ignoring his pleas, abandoning his son for his own pleasure. There is no indication that his father has ever had a mistress, but this imagined possibility suggests that Aaron no longer views his father innocently. In an interview, Soderbergh has suggested that what saves Aaron in the end is this hallucination and the anger he feels rising up in him against his father, which he then expresses by smashing the candles. For Aaron, it becomes a necessary catharsis. We might ask if the hallucination sequence was also cathartic for Soderbergh, offering him both an outlet and strategy to overcome the tyranny of narrative. The interior space of the mind offers a different kind of logic, and therefore a different kind of possibility for editing. It offers the logic of the psyche, the psychological, the psychological, the logic of the psycho. This necessary catharsis will lead to the next stage of Soderbergh, where he will produce some of his greatest non-linear works.
Oh, hey, how's it going?
And then later,
not good.
to a recognition of an industry and a public that still prefers. Make no mistake, this is no mistake. Nonlinear Billy is no accidental continuity error. His presence is a deliberate choice by Soderbergh, who is both director and editor. One doesn't accidentally reach into another shooting day and use a shot for an earlier sequence. I'd like to believe that Soderbergh made this decision because he wanted his first cut to be nonlinear and knew that he could get away with it. But it's also possible that he just wanted a reverse shot of Billy in this opening scene, which he didn't have, and decided to use a shot from another day. In either case, it says something, doesn't it? About the tyranny of narrative, about our predisposition to continuity, about what some have called our change blindness. Whether this first cut is an act of defiance or simply an act of a savvy filmmaker, it is a recognition of our propensity for the linear.